Hey guys, Thaddeus here with On Purpose Media. Are you looking to get better visibility in your local market online for when people search for those key terms like AC repair or furnace repair or water heater repair or electrician near me? Well, today I'm going to show you and walk you through some things to be able to do for your Google business profile so that you can get better rankings and show up for those impact terms within your local market. Google business profile, Google My Business, GMB, GBP, whatever you want to call it. It used to be called GMB, but now we call it GBP. So a little bit of a misnomer on there in your Google business profile in terms of the terminology, but that's okay. Google's got you. We've got you. All right, so let's dive in. It's one of the most powerful tools out there for home service businesses, and it hasn't quite made its way over for the AI stuff yet, the AI search, because it's still actually showing up the local relevancy within inside of the Google Map pack itself. Now, one of the big things that you got to keep in mind here is reviews matter, but we'll talk a little bit about that. Okay, so there's a bunch of things that you can do on your own to be able to make sure that you have your Google business profile dialed in the right way. Okay, so let's dive into step number one, claiming your Google business profile. If you don't have one, it's 2025. Get one, set it up, do what you need to do. Even if you just claim it and you don't do anything with it, you need to have that, guys. It's 2025. Okay? You should have that already. I've actually ran into a business who didn't have one. I'm like, the heck, guys, what are you doing? And some of them have them. They don't even have a website. But okay, whichever. You could still rank a Google business profile ish, depending on the. I mean, this is also like a town of like 1,000 people. So they were like number one everywhere. And one no surprise, it's a town of 1,000 people. You get into a competitive market. Well, that changes things a little bit, all right? So you want to make sure that you claim it, first and foremost, if you haven't done that. It sounds rudimentary to even say that. The second part is optimizing your Google business profile. You want to fill out as much information as you possibly can, okay? The first thing is your name, making sure that the name is in there. If your business name has heating and air in it, or plumbing, or electrician, or whatever your home service or your business is, that's even better, but don't put it in there if your business actually doesn't have that, okay? If your business doesn't have that, you could look at doing what they call the DBA, or doing a business as, putting it in there so that way you could have that up there. It is a ranking factor. It's not as big as what people think these days, but it does matter to have that name within inside of it. Okay, so make sure that's in there, making sure that you have a phone number in there, making sure you have your website, filling in every single possible thing that Google could ask for, right? You might not think, well, hey, I want to put in the LGBTQ stuff on there. Well, guess what? Click that off, because there are people out there that want that, right? When you think back into the pandemic times, mask friendly, some of you are like, anti-mask, anti-pandemic. Well, guess what? Other people weren't like that, right? So you want to make sure that your values don't come across inside of those sorts of things, because all sorts of people are out there. And so making sure you fill in all that information is a key thing for your Google business profile. The other part is making sure that you have an address. I know that some people want to put, well, I have my home. That's fine. Put your home on there. Obviously, home service businesses, people aren't coming to your house. They're not searching for directions to come find you. The ranking factor for proximity is your address. So if you're in, I don't know, let's just say the Dallas-Fort Worth area, it's a big metroplex. There's 8 million people in there, and you're trying to rank for the service area of the DFW. It's not possible. You're never going to be able to do that, because it's all about proximity to the searching, right? So making sure that you have your address in there is another step to have that in there. I know some people like, so for example, if somebody comes to work with us, we're not actually going to work with them. We're not going to take them on as a client unless they put an address on their Google business profile. So I highly recommend that. There's another part too where it has your category. So there's primary categories and there's all the other secondary categories on there. Oftentimes people put in the one category. I'm an HVAC contractor. I'm a plumber. I'm an electrician. I'm going to only put those in there. Well, you'd be remiss if you didn't put all the rest of them in there either, right? You want to make sure that you fill out all of the ones that are possibly remotely connected to your business, because the more that you have in there, the better it is for your business. That allows Google to say, oh, okay, well, you have HVAC contractor, but you're also an AC repair and a furnace repair company. You also do plumbing, if you do plumbing, right? If you're a plumbing company, but you also do heating and cooling and air conditioning, you want to put that on there. Now, you generally speaking, you can only rank a Google business profile for one of those primary categories. So to rank a plumber and an air conditioner at the same time for plumbing near me or AC repair near me, it is a little bit difficult. Not saying it's not impossible, it's just a little bit more difficult to be able to do that. So you sometimes want to look at maybe a secondary Google business profile if you have multiple service lines for that. Now, a second Google business profile, how does that work? How does that look? Well, you want to find proximity again, right? So you don't want to have one that's like 2 miles away. it's redundant for your business. You want to look at maybe 10 to 15 or 20 to 30 miles away, depending on your area and the geographical. There's a lot of like nuances here on size of market, on how far you want to go for a secondary Google business profile, or you make that your other primary category. So now you've increased your map rankings. Okay, by the way, and you show up in more places. So keep that in mind. The other one is making sure you're updating photos and videos. Photos and videos are an important thing to be able to add in there. It shows relevancy and frequency, and shows that you're active inside your Google business profile and you're doing those sorts of things. You're trying to push things there as much as possible. Good point of practice is after every job, you should be taking a photo anyways. Perhaps you're doing a before and after. Obviously, the after is a key thing here, and be able to show some of the work that you're doing. So you could easily post, 1 to 2 photos per day of jobs that you guys have done if you're doing multiple jobs in a day. Don't ignore that, because you're already taking those photos anyways, or at least you should be taking those photos before and afters for other jobs, storing them in places like a company cam or inside your House Call Pro or your Service Titan or wherever you're at. So if you're working with a marketing company, now you also want to send all of those photos to the marketing company every time that you do them, so they have a greater ability to be able to pull those. Now, if you can get videos, even better. That's also a key thing to be able to add in. Reviews. You cannot ignore reviews. If you take 3 Google business profiles that are side by side in the map pack rankings, or the Google business map pack, or whatever you want to call it, if you take 3 businesses that are side by side, if you have a business that has 700 reviews, you have a business that has 500 reviews, and you have a business that has 10 reviews, you know who they're going to call? The 750 and the 500. Right? Now, if it was 750, 300, and 200, well, now they're like, okay, well, 700, 253, well, whatever. I was going to pick one of them, right? Usually the one at the top. Now, you can't ignore reviews. My opinion, the best way to be able to get reviews is right then and there on the spot. So you want to coach your technicians and your team to be able to get reviews before they even leave the home. Hey, Mrs. Jones, or Mr. Jones. Hey, Mrs. Jones, do you feel that we provided you a 5-star level of service today? Yeah? Oh, we did? Great. Well, it really actually helps me out, and it helps us out if we leave a Google review. So I've got a QR code right here. Why don't you go ahead and pull out your smartphone. Let's scan this guy. I'll help you walk through the Google review steps to be able to do that in case you run into any roadblocks. So here's the QR code. Let's grab your phone. Let's go ahead and do it. So now they pull out the phone, they scan the QR code, and it pops up to the Leave a Google Review page. Okay. Now they're there. Now the technician can say, oh, and while you're writing it, it really actually helps me out. Kind of like bragging rights, Mrs. Jones, if you put my name in there. So go ahead and put my name, Thaddeus. Say, my technician, Thaddeus, was absolutely amazing for my AC repair. And then list off a couple other things that we did for you. So you've done 2 things here. You've put a name in there of the technician, and you've put in what they've actually done for the work. So now you put a keyword into the review. You can do this for every single service that you offer too. Plumbing, electrician, doesn't really matter. Whatever they did, AC installation, hot water tank installation, tankless water heat, water installation, put in a new faucet. It doesn't really matter. Here's another thing. Go get them to take a photo. Would you mind also taking a photo? You should probably do this beforehand, but you should take the photo, and then they can attach that photo to the Google review. Now you've got name, now you've got keyword, now you've got photo. Google likes that. Also, the frequency of reviews. The more you get and the more often you get them, that's a signal for Google. Google used to say, and people used to say, reviews don't matter. They do. They do. That's a signal in terms of how many people are interacting with it. But the other part is how many people are seeing the Google reviews. That's the conversion element to it. Okay. Now, after that Google review is left, now also before I get to that, when you think about the technician, what they've just done, they've just got a Google review with their name and the keyword and a photo. Look into your local labor laws first and foremost on what you can and can't do here, but you should spiff them. Give them a bonus for every 5-star Google review that they get with their name, the keyword, and a photo. $20. Why not? Right? Make it a part of the SOP on their checklist. Oh, you didn't ask for Google reviews? Why? Have a conversation with them, because that's my opinion, the very best way to be able to get it, because you're going to get exactly what you need when you do it that way. The secondary way is just automate it after you close the job in your back end. They just get an email and a text message on the things that they need in order to be able to do that. Now that you've had those Google reviews, you need to respond to those Google reviews. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 stars. Every single one needs a response. Generally, you can AI automate the 4 and the 5 stars. On Purpose Media has a product. You can automate the responses to those reviews. I would say the 3 stars and belows, you don't want to use straight AI to be able to do that. It still says funny things and errors when it comes to that. The best thing is that human touch. You can use AI to craft the response to be able to give you that baseline on what you can and what you should say. We have that feature built into our reviews AI product, by the way, where it just sends a copy of the 1 to 3 star reviews for reference on that. But then you want to respond back. People will oftentimes, and you think about like the 1 and the 2 and the 3 stars, people are like, I don't want any of those. And I never want a 1 or a 3 star or a 2 star review. Well, no, they're not a bad thing. Have you ever been to a McDonald's and you've gotten stale fries? Have you ever went to a Starbucks when they messed up your? And I'm guilty. One of my preferences for Starbucks is a grande caramel macchiato, a skinny caramel macchiato, extra hot. If it's not extra hot, I just like suck them back and serve because it's like sugar, right? Well, they've made it sometimes with vanilla oat milk. I'm like, this tasted like garbage. I still go back there. I had a bad experience, but I still go back there, right? Here's the other part about Google reviews. When you have that 1, 2, and 3 star review, oftentimes people are looking for the how you respond back to those Google reviews. It isn't so much about the person leaving the review. It's about how the owner interacts and reacts to those 1, 2, and 3 star reviews, because they happen in life. Everybody's had a bad experience. Okay, so make sure that you write that in mind. It's not a response to that person. It's a response to the other people that are reading it. Google reviews, get them. Lastly, you can look at some of the insights in the analytics to be able to see what people are doing on your Google Business Profile, seeing the interactions, the impressions, whether they're coming up on desktop and mobile. That kind of dictates some of your other strategies. So you can go into the back end and make sure you're getting those and looking at those things. You can also see the types of interactions and what they're doing. Are they hitting your website? Are they, you should, by the way, put in a UTM parameter on your Google Business Profile. It's a tracking link is what that is. Universal tracking metric where you can actually show up in your Google Analytics, in your GA4, your Google Analytics on your backend, where those sources are coming from and then what interactions they're taking on your website. I know I'm kind of getting a little bit technical here, but you can actually see, okay, well, these people are actually coming into my website from my Google Business Profile, and here's the actions that they're taking. Sometimes they don't even hit that. They just hit the call button, right? You want to be able to track those metrics to be able to see where you're showing up. There's other tools, things like Bright Local, that you can use where you can actually do a heat map ranking, where it actually shows where your results are in a grid. We tend to use a 7 mile by 7 mile grid to start with a point every single mile. We'll go upwards to 10, 12, 15 miles on our grid rankings to be able to see where a person is showing up in the results for those key impact words. AC repair near me, furnace repair near me, hot water replacement, plumber near me, etc. Those sorts of keywords. Okay, making sure you're looking at those analytics. Don't skimp on that because you want to see what's happening on the back end. I mean, that's just scratching the surface of your Google Business Profile optimization. There's a lot more that a person can go into in terms of the ranking factors. So citation, name, address, phone number, website. You want to make sure that your name, your address, your phone number, your website are the same across everywhere on the internet. So a citation example is if you have a Yelp page or a Better Business Bureau page or a Facebook page, you want to make sure, and there's, by the way, thousands of citation directories that a person can use. Those are just an easy 3 for this example. Okay, so you want to make sure that your name matches your Google Business Profile. You want to make sure that the address matches your Google Business Profile. You want to make sure the phone number matches your Google Business Profile. There's an asterisk on this. Okay, you might want to have tracking numbers in place on your Google Business Profile. Completely fine. That's okay. What you want to do is you want to have one phone number, one master phone number that you list as a secondary number on your Google Business Profile. You also want to make sure that that number is on your website on the same link when people click the website button, that it goes there. Now you can have tracking numbers on your website as long as that secondary phone number, that main one, is what's called hard-coded to your site. So the tracking numbers, the way that it works is a person lands on your site, this script runs and it says, oh, I've identified this hard-coded phone number. Boop, we're going to swap it with a tracking number. Okay, so now this hard-coded phone number matches your Google Business Profile. Secondary number matches the phone number in all the other places on there, and it builds authority from a citation perspective. So that's your phone number and obviously your website on there, and making sure that those are the same across the board. That's what's called a citation signal. So you want to make sure that you're focusing on those sorts of things as well with inside your Google Business Profile. Okay. A lot of things. I mean, it doesn't have to be complicated, guys. It really doesn't, but it can impact how your business shows up. Right? And you want to make sure that you're doing things the right way with inside of it and make sure that it's fully optimized. By the way, if you're ever like, I don't even know if mine is, you know what? Just send a message. You hit us up. We have something called a second opinion audit. onpurposemedia.ca/second is how you get onto that. You're going to land on a page. It'll walk you through. You book a time. We'll go through and we'll tell you some of those things and show you how your ranking is showing up for your Google Business Profile. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to my channel for more helpful content on these sorts of things and it help growing your business online. We talk about a variety of things. We're talking about marketing online. We talk about culture. We talk about business philosophies. It's not just all about marketing. So be sure to like and subscribe to the channel because we're going to keep coming at you with amazing content, just like this video. And of course, if you have any questions or any comments, make sure to hit those down below and we'll be happy to help you out. Thanks for watching and we'll see you on the next video.